As Vogue's contributing editor Michelle Reese writes, there are so many things to love about the French culture. Fries, fancy state-run daycares, and now an official ban on the use of after-hour work emails. Reese's article was just one of many after the news of the potential French legislature spread like wildfire this past weekend. Although it is becoming clear that the English press may have exaggerated what the bill actually implies, it is true that the French are trying to pass a bill that stresses the employees' rights to disconnect. The bill hopes to make large companies and organizations implement control mechanisms for the use of digital tools after hours. So while you might not be going to jail for sending an email after 6 p.m., as some of the news outlets reported, the French definitely bring up a very valid point about the increased connectivity that we've experienced over recent years and how it could potentially affect an employee's ability to maintain a proper work-life balance. The reason that I chose to discuss this topic is I've seen how the expectation of constant communication has affected my family. Both of my parents have been real estate agents in the Charleston area for going on 15 years, and they have certainly seen a decrease in the amount of time that they are expected to respond to clients. They are expected to respond pretty late into the night and definitely on weekends and holidays. It's shifted the way they live their entire life. They now wake up much later than they used to because they are expected to respond to emails later and later and later into the night. So over the next couple of minutes, I just thought I would take the time to discuss a little bit about how we got here as a society, about some of the potential problems associated with the expectation of constant communication, and some of the solutions that have been proposed thus far. How we got here seems a little bit like a no-brainer. Definitely the number one contributing factor is the increase in technology and the advances that have been made over recent years. When everyone had a BlackBerry, sending emails and doing tasks on your mobile device on the internet were somewhat difficult. However, now that everyone, or most everyone, has iPhones and Androids, it's often more simple to respond to an email on your cell phone than to drag out your computer or to go to your work office. And because we've become so reliant upon our mobile devices for our day-to-day lives, the expectation that we've seen an email or a text has also increased. If I send an email to an employee, there's a good chance they've seen it after a couple of hours because I know they'd probably use their mobile device. Why is this a potential problem? There's actually been an organization created called the Digital Responsibility Organization that tries to highlight some of the potential health concerns associated with the use of digital technology. Some of the health concerns that they talk about, the physical concerns, include vision loss, hearing loss, and neck strain, and potential spine problems from constantly looking down at your cell phone. What's a little bit scarier is some of the psychological concerns that they bring up. Guilt is one of their major concerns, and many employees feel guilty about spending time on their work phone or answering emails when they should be spending time with their family. Distraction is the other main psychological concern that they bring up. Distraction leads to distance between personal family members, and is also the leading cause of automobile accidents in the United States for the past 5 years. And researchers don't foresee that changing in the near future. So some of the potential solutions that have been discussed, a lot of people are applauding France for being one of the first countries to put some of the responsibility on the employer and not solely on the employee. So many people are giving France props for doing that, although many people see a bill like France is considering very unlikely to be considered in the United States. They do bring up the possibility of compensation for any after-hour work that is performed by employees. And another thing that employees can do by themselves is be very clear and set guidelines about their use of technology after hours, setting up auto replies, whether it be nightly or on the weekends, stating that they are no longer working, but they would be glad to respond to any concerns the next business day, has become very popular. Unfortunately, as digital brain trust researcher explains, email is simply a mode of communication. The real problem is the culture of constantly having to do better and having to do more than your competitors. So I certainly think that this is an issue that we're not gonna solve anytime soon, and I think that it could get worse before it gets better. But I think that it's great that France is bringing topics like this into communication and making people talk about it and think about the possible concerns that the connectivity has on our social lives. So, thank you.